Intermittent tripping of a sub-panel breaker can be frustrating, but a systematic approach can help pinpoint the cause. Firstly, check the main load by confirming that the load on the sub-panel is not exceeding its capacity. Use an ammeter to measure the current draw on each circuit within the sub-panel and compare it to the breaker's rating. Secondly, inspect the wiring and connections to ensure all wiring is secure and free of damage. Look for loose terminals or frayed insulation, as these can create intermittent faults. Thirdly, examine the equipment connected to the sub-panel, especially the pump and any other motors, for signs of electrical issues or overloading. Check the motor nameplate for its rated current and compare it to the circuit breaker size. Fourthly, monitor temperatures using a thermal camera or infrared thermometer to check for hotspots on the sub-panel, main breaker, or equipment. Elevated temperatures indicate excessive current flow or loose connections. If these steps don't reveal the problem, it's best to contact a qualified electrician to further diagnose and resolve the issue. Tripping of the breaker feeding the sub-panel often points to problems within the sub-panel itself or the wiring feeding it. Firstly, check the load on the sub-panel to determine if excessive current draw is the cause. Use an ammeter to measure the total current being drawn by the sub-panel and compare it to the main breaker's rating. Secondly, inspect the wiring from the service panel to the sub-panel, ensuring it is in good condition and properly sized for the load. Undersized wiring can overheat and cause the breaker to trip. Refer to the National Electrical Code, or NEC, Table 310.15b16 to determine the correct wire size for the amperage and insulation type. Thirdly, verify the grounding of the sub-panel by checking that the ground wire from the sub-panel is properly connected to the service panel ground. A faulty ground connection can lead to nuisance tripping. Fourthly, identify any faults using a multimeter or other test equipment to check for ground faults or short circuits on the sub-panel or its circuits. A ground fault occurs when current flows to ground through an unintended path, while a short circuit is a direct connection between two conductors. If you cannot locate the source of the problem, contact an electrician for assistance. Tripping of a 200 amp breaker while resetting a 1-pole 20 amp breaker suggests a more significant issue than a simple overload. Firstly, consider that the 20 amp breaker in the lighting panel may have tripped due to an overload, causing the 200 amp main breaker to also trip. This can occur if the overload is severe enough to draw excessive current from the main breaker. Secondly, suspect an arc fault or short circuit in the lighting circuit, which could have caused both breakers to trip. An arc fault is an unintentional electrical discharge between two or more conductors, while a short circuit is a direct connection between conductors. These faults can generate high currents that trip breakers. Thirdly, inspect the wiring connections on the 20 amp breaker and the 200 amp main breaker for any loose or damaged connections. Loose connections can create resistance and heat, leading to breaker tripping. Due to the potential seriousness of the issue, it is recommended to contact a qualified electrician to investigate and resolve the problem. Understanding breaker tripping involves grasping the basic principles of electrical circuits and protection. A circuit breaker is a safety device designed to protect electrical circuits from damage caused by overcurrent, typically from an overload or short circuit. When the current exceeds the breaker's rated amperage, it trips, interrupting the flow of electricity and preventing potential damage to wiring and equipment. An overload occurs when the circuit draws more current than it is designed to handle. This can happen when too many devices are plugged into a single circuit or when a device malfunctions and draws excessive current. A short circuit, on the other hand, is a direct connection between two conductors bypassing the intended load. This results in a very high current flow, which can quickly damage wiring and equipment. Ground faults are similar to short circuits, but they involve a connection between a conductor and ground. This can happen when insulation on a wire is damaged, allowing current to flow to a grounded surface. Arc faults are a more recent concern in electrical safety. They are caused by unintentional electrical discharges between two or more conductors. Arc faults can generate heat and sparks, which can ignite flammable materials and cause fires. Arc fault circuit interrupters, or RSIs, are designed to detect arc faults and trip the circuit breaker before a fire can start. When troubleshooting breaker tripping issues, it's important to follow a systematic approach. Start by identifying the circuit that is tripping and determining what devices are connected to it. If the breaker trips frequently, it's likely due to an overload or a fault. To check for an overload, use an ammeter to measure the current being drawn by the circuit. Compare the measured current to the breaker's rating. If the current exceeds the rating, you need to reduce the load in the circuit. This can be done by unplugging some of the devices or by moving them to a different circuit. If the breaker trips immediately after being reset, it's likely due to a short circuit or ground fault. In this case, you need to carefully inspect the wiring and devices connected to the circuit for any signs of damage. Look for frayed wires, loose connections, and damaged insulation. If you find any damage, repair or replace the affected components. When working with electrical circuits, it's important to take safety precautions. Always turn off the power to the circuit before working on it. Use insulated tools and wear appropriate personal protective equipment, or PPE, such as safety glasses and gloves. If you are not comfortable working with electricity, it's best to contact a qualified electrician. Electrical panels are often the central hub for electrical distribution in the building. Understanding their components and how they function is crucial for troubleshooting electrical issues. The main breaker is the primary disconnect for the entire panel. It controls the flow of electricity to all the branch circuits. Branch circuit breakers protect individual circuits within the building. They are typically rated for 15 or 20 amps for lighting and receptacle circuits, and higher amperage for appliance circuits. The bus bars are conductive bars that distribute electricity from the main breaker to the branch circuit breakers. The neutral bus bar provides a common return path for current from all the circuits. The ground bus bar is connected to the grounding electrode system, which provides a path for fault current to return to the source. When inspecting an electrical panel, look for signs of damage or overheating. Check for loose connections, corroded terminals, and burned wires. If you find any of these issues, contact a qualified electrician to repair the panel. Proper grounding is essential for electrical safety. The grounding system provides a path for fault current to return to the source, which helps to trip circuit breakers and prevent electrical shock. The grounding electrode system typically consists of a ground rod, a metal water pipe, or a concrete encased electrode. The grounding electrode conductor connects the grounding electrode system to the ground bus bar in the electrical panel. Equipment grounding conductors connect the metal enclosures of electrical equipment to the ground bus bar. This ensures that the equipment is properly grounded and that fault current can safely return to the source. When testing grounding systems, use the ground resistance meter to measure the resistance between the grounding electrode system and the earth. The resistance should be low, typically less than 25 ohms. If the resistance is too high, it indicates a problem with the grounding system. Over time, circuit breakers can weaken and become more prone to tripping. This is especially true for breakers that have been tripped frequently or have been exposed to high temperatures. If you suspect that a breaker is weak, you can test it using a circuit breaker tester. This device applies a controlled overcurrent to the breaker and measures its response time. If the breaker trips too slowly or doesn't trip at all, it needs to be replaced. The NEC provides detailed requirements for electrical installations, including wiring methods, overcurrent protection, and grounding. It's important to be familiar with the NEC requirements when working with electrical systems. Some of the key NEC articles related to circuit breakers include Article 240, which covers overcurrent protection, and Article 250, which covers grounding and bonding. Understanding these articles can help you ensure that your electrical installations are safe and compliant. In addition to the NEC, there are other standards and regulations that may apply to electrical installations. These include local building codes, utility company requirements, and insurance company standards. It's important to be aware of these requirements and to comply with them when working with electrical systems. Electrical safety is paramount when working with electricity. Always follow safe work practices and use appropriate personal protective equipment. If you're not comfortable working with electricity, contact a qualified electrician. Remember to always de-energize circuits before working on them. Use a voltage tester to verify that the circuit is de-energized before touching any wires or components. Lockout and tagout procedures should be followed to prevent accidental energization of the circuit. These procedures involve disconnecting the power source and placing a lock and tag on the disconnect switch to prevent it from being turned on. Never work alone when working with electricity. Have someone nearby who can assist you in case of an emergency. First aid training is essential for anyone working with electricity. Learn how to treat electrical shock and burns. Keep a first aid kit readily available and know how to use it. Regularly inspect electrical equipment and wiring for damage. Repair or replace any damaged components immediately. Keep electrical panels and equipment clean and free of debris. Avoid overloading circuits. Use extension cords sparingly and never plug multiple extension cords together. Be aware of the potential hazards of working with electricity and take steps to mitigate those hazards. By following these safety guidelines, you can help prevent electrical accidents and injuries. The information provided here is for general guidance only and should not be considered a substitute for professional electrical advice. Always consult with a qualified electrician before performing any electrical work. Ignoring electrical safety precautions can lead to serious injury or death. The electrical system is a critical part of any building. Proper installation, maintenance, and repair of electrical systems are essential for ensuring safety and reliability. By understanding the principles of electrical circuits, protection, and grounding, you can troubleshoot common electrical problems and ensure that your electrical system is operating safely and efficiently.